What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Show Until After Dark. If you are feeling tonight's content, drop a comment. If you're on Instagram, drop a comment. If you're on YouTube, and if you are feeling this, and if you feel like you're resonating with any of the content, share this with somebody that you think could benefit from this content, and let us know what you think. Right now, if y'all remember Tyrone from the last podcast, we did a Single Fathers podcast. We got a special shout out for the Noka, the brand Noka. Noka is a carbonated water brand. We got some mango, we got some lemonade, we got some berry. And I know in the summertime, they're coming out with a special lemonade flavor. So be sure to catch up on that. I don't know if you'll be able to find Noka in the stores. I think that you will, but right now you can find it on the Show and Tell podcast. If you want a box, hit us up. We'll be able to get you one. What's up, Tatas? What's the next question?
So now we're transitioning to relationships, dating and relationships. And I kind of want to know, what are the key issues with dating right now? And especially as an artist, has being an artist made it difficult for you to date people or even connect to people?
Doja Cat has a track out called Ain't Shit.
Start up.
I think the chorus goes something like, niggas ain't shit, come up in your crib, all up in your fridge, can't pay rent. Look at what you did. Listen to your friends when they say, niggas ain't shit. There are homosexuals. They're running rampant out here, but they're not gender specific. Just want y'all to know that it's a very equal opportunity of homosexuals out
Can you
here.
define a homosexual for me?
That's
Amanda?
crazy.
I don't know why y'all chose me to answer this.
Yo, you the first one that went off. So you
That's crazy. A homosexual
is someone who has nothing, but leeches onto someone, will mask themselves.
Right.
To be everything that they think that you need them to be, to get what they need from you, whether that's a place to stay, money, sex, food.
All of the above.
That's a hobo.
And not contribute shit.
Right.
A succubus.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. A succubus.
or incubus. Incubus is the masculine one. That's the masculine one, right?
Oh,
Well,
even though there
both
was a
people-
masculine term.
Wow.
You're right.
Incubus
But
and a
both can,
succubus.
again, this is not gender specific. I mean, anybody can be a homosexual.
Okay.
But those are the red flags. They don't do anything all day. They're chilling in your crib. Is that enough?
Crazy.
Well,
I'm shocked to the core of my being right now.
Trying to drive your car.
Like
crazy.
when you go out in the dating world though, like is it difficult because you're an artist? Is it difficult because people have different values or different what does the dating scene look like right now?
Trash.
Oh, yeah.
Next
Is it
question.
trash?
Yeah.
Trash next. Próximo.
Just so I make sure I stay like on topic. Can you just repeat the question for me, please?
So I'm looking to see
What it's like to date in the artist.
Okay, being an artist, what it's like. Okay. Thanks for the reminder.
I like it.
Honestly, like I think kind of like in conjunction with what we were saying earlier, there's levels to it. You know what I mean? Like I think right now, there's a lot of people that's fake doing the work. So I think that has a lot to do with it. Being a genuine artist, being someone that's really tapped into self. My artistry is not just for show. It's not just for entertainment. It is me.
Right.
It's just naturally entertaining. I think that, I naturally attract a lot of people. People are always like, the energy that people are attracted to that kind of stuff. So I think in that sense, sometimes you're aligned with the wrong people because it's just people that want to take. And like you were saying earlier, like, the natural, like, value exchange, it's looking weak right now out here in these streets. You know what I mean? it's really looking weak.
Value exchange, okay?
Yeah, come on, because this is value, right?
And I think
Right,
once
that's
you've
right.
reached like a higher sense of like consciousness, as an artist, and you're very intentional again about your art and where you're at, it is really difficult to find someone that not only holds themselves accountable and can take accountability, but then do the restorative justice work that comes after that, while also potentially being like awkward in your face or feeling uncomfortable. But that's like a part of doing the work, is like how we work through the awkwardness and the uncomfortable and the mistakes. That shows like real genuine love for the person, because anybody can love you. My thing for me is like trust and loyalty. Like, can I trust you? And are you loyal? Because I can love someone who's not unloyal, and I can definitely love someone I don't trust. There's a couple of motherfuckers out there right now that I still love, but I don't trust them. So it's really, really difficult to find someone that's willing to not only be able to take care of you and nurture you in the ways that you need to be fed, but also are able to feed themselves. I just had this question with somebody. I almost said the name and I won't. I'm not.
We'll bleep that
no
out.
face, no case. That's how I roll.
No face, no case.
No face, no case, and no name dropping. Period. Don't pop up because I will pop out. Okay. That's another one. That's another one. Don't do pop ups. I will pop out. All three of them in that order. Okay. But also, I was having this conversation the other day with someone, and they were like, yo, like, I feel like you're a giver. And I'm like, I am a giver. That's why it's hard for me. I'm learning how to receive, right? That's always been my struggle. Like, that's still my work, is like receiving love.
That's right.
So the person was like, yeah, but like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give you this. Are you going to receive it? And I loved the conversation, because I was like, damn, like, you really ask it. Like, first of all, you named what you wanted. You said what you were looking for. You didn't play any games about where you were at and what you still needed to work on, but yet you still want to like build. Like, yeah. Okay. Like, I like stuff like that. Like, I like directness. Somebody that wants to know what they need and what they want. And half the time I find that people are just dating just to date because they're lonely and they didn't do their work.
Right.
And they don't know what they wanted. And I was one of those people. So I recognize it a lot. Yeah. You know, I recognize it a lot faster because I remember when I was that person.
Yeah.
And
identify
some of the,
and acknowledge.
Exactly. Observe and what?
Observe, not absorb.
There it is. So I've been observing this, and I'm like, okay, sis, what type of people do you want to date? And manifesting that too, because how we talk to ourselves, like, I ain't gonna get no real nigga because these niggas ain't shit. I'm joking. I mean, I'm not joking, but I'm joking when I say niggas ain't shit.
But the universe doesn't joke.
But the universe doesn't.
She don't joke,
if
baby.
I'm calling out, like, and saying all these niggas ain't shit, of course I'm gonna get ain't shit niggas.
Period.
Not gender specific.
Right.
I'm gonna get ain't shit people.
Right.
Period. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very rooted in my queer identity. I gotta make sure like this is equal opportunity all the way around the board. But that's what it is. Like, I tell people I'm a mere reflection of you. And half the time people don't understand that. And it's like, nah, like what you see in me is in you. And if you don't like something in me, I know that's something you don't like in you, regardless if it's in me or not. Period. That's your work. Period. So like to date me is really difficult because I am an artist. I am also a mother. I don't play about my time.
Right.
I don't play about my time. And 9 times out of 10, I don't play about my time. 9 times out of 10, because that's a real thing. I could get anything back, right? Like money, whatever, materialistic, whatever. But I can't get back my time. So don't, and I want to say waste my time, because sometimes you don't even know if you're a hurt person. You don't even know that you're wasting somebody's time. You think you falling in love, but you really wasting somebody's time. I don't play about that.
And also too, I think males and females have different like ideas about time. Like for men, like you could kind of like chill for the rest of your life. But for females though, there's a certain time of like there's also like fertility and all the shit, or like you don't. I feel like women have a concept of like don't waste my time more than men do.
I don't think that's necessarily always true, because I just actually met a man who is very much like, don't waste my fucking time. Like if you don't know, not dead ass. And I was like, I like that because like that's true. I don't think it's again a gender specific thing. I think that people in general need to know what they're looking for and be honest about that, especially with their time. Time is important. Yes, so like if you come to me, I don't know if you're single. Are you single? I don't want no smoke. Okay.
Girl.
Because, even when you use examples, people be like, and I'd be like, I don't want no smoke. Right. I don't want no drama. But say you came up to me and you was like, hey, Amanda, like, I've been knowing you for a little while. Da, 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 da. My first questions to you is, what are you looking for? Do you have a record? What are your goals for the next 5 years? And they don't even have to be set. Like, do you have a plan? Like, where do you see yourself? Do you want children?
Well, that's what I'm saying though.
Like I have a very specific list to like even try to talk to me. Never mind, date me.
Let's say you have
it's a whole thing.
Than men because men, I don't know if you'll back me out or you have a different opinion. Is would a man ask that?
Yeah,
he's like
I just had somebody ask me that same thing. People who are conscientious of themselves. Not for real. That shit's important because if you over here trying to move to Taiwan,
no matter what,
you trying to move to Hawaii in 5 years, and I don't want to leave. Like the fuck.
Yeah, I want to hear your perspective, bro.
I would definitely like to know what a woman's 5-year goals are from talking to her. But I kind of agree with what you're saying. Like, it is slightly different because I don't want to get attacked right here. I'm sitting in the middle of y'all and all this. But
get attacked, bro. Take this L.
Feel the heat, right?
I do. Y'all looking at me and shit. I'm like, oh my god.
From the lamp.
But yeah, it's the lighting, dog. Like, use.
Yeah, it's hot.
If I break a sweat, it's the light. Okay. But
You're a little greasy at the head.
From the light. The double entendre from the light.
Yeah. Exactly.
we're all gonna snap. Let's all snap for that. But yeah. Honestly, I'm a little old fashioned, so I feel like the man naturally should lead or at least want to lead. And because of this, I feel like I do want to know where her head's at. I'm gonna ask her what your 5-year goals are so I can know where her head's at, so I can know if we could build together. But mainly, like, as a leader, my 5-year goals is this is where I'm going. Do you want to come with me?
Okay.
Like, to me, that's a masculine thought process. This is where I'm going. Do you want to come with me and play the supportive role in my life? But I do want to know what your 5-year goals are to see if they mesh.
So you got out of a relationship. You were like, yo, she wasted my time. Like, I feel like, a lot of females like, yo, this nigga wasted my time. I was asking you, like, did you feel like that, when you got out of, like, whatever relationship that you were in? You were like, oh shit, I'm fucking sad because this person wasted my time when I could have been building with somebody else who could have been more sustainable.
Sustainable.
As a man, I feel like men, we look at women as like investments. If I'm going to invest in her, what am I going to get out of it? And by get out, I don't necessarily mean like material things like normal investments, but like, they say a happy wife, a happy life. Like, can she bring me that peace to make me a better me? And if you feel like you could have did better solo, then yeah, I feel like I wasted my time. Like, why did I bring you with me if you couldn't really like help keep me my best self, hold me back, basically
add to
if she couldn't like necessarily add to what it is that I'm doing, then I would feel like she definitely wasted my time. But like when you talk about men and women look at time differently, women mature faster than men do because honestly we live in different worlds. Like I remember one time I was walking with a woman and we were going back to my place and we're walking down this we didn't get to the dark alley yet, but there's like this dark way.
Kept her in the inside? You kept her in the inside? Or outside of the walking?
When you on the sidewalk, she's always on the inside. You already know this. This is a gentleman. You know what I'm saying? You gotta.
Do it, bro.
Let me touch your
Right? Right. But I know this secret. It's not necessarily secret, but like this shortcut basically to my spot, and it's like it's really dark. You know what I'm saying? I take this all the time. I don't give a shit. I'm a man though, so I'm like, let's go down this way. She looked down that dark ass way. She's like, I don't want to go that way. I'm like, what you mean? It's dark and I don't know this place. I don't know. Like, let's just go. Like, you got me what you did. And she didn't want to go that way. And that's what really, like, it dawned on me, yo, we live in different worlds. As a man.
And you have male privilege.
Yeah. And, like, upper body strength and just me being tall. Like, people don't want to mess with me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we live in very different worlds. So, women kind of have to mature faster than men do. So, like, the world we live in is a little different. So, when you talk about men can kind of take their time, in a way, that's true. Like, in a way, we could kind of bullshit because the world ain't really coming for us like that, like the way it comes for women. So, like, yeah, like, we are on kind of on different times, you know what I'm saying? So, like, when a man realizes that, I feel like he could be a better protector, provider, better partner in general because, like, yeah, it's not the same. It's really not.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, yes, please.
That was beautifully put. I love your insight, the sense of wisdom that you hold in regards to your awareness when it comes to like, we do live in different worlds. I never really heard a man say that before because they're usually not in the know of that. And I agree with what both of y'all said. I do want to piggyback off of what Amanda said in regards to it not being like gender specific. I think to me, in a nutshell, it's like, is your time important to you? Like that's what it boils down to. If your time, if it ain't shit to you, like if time is, we always say time isn't a thing, but if we're speaking logically, if your time is not important to you, you will allow people to waste it because you don't give a fuck about your time. Like you don't have things you want to accomplish. You don't know who you are. You don't have a foundation in your core to be like, I know exactly what I want for myself. If I meet somebody and they don't meet those my standards, my requirements, what have you, I'm chucking up the deuce, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's more about like, what does time mean to you? Now, if you're just out here like lost in the sauce and you kind of going with the flow, that's cool, you know, but you have to, it's not really about wasting time because when you get with someone, right, which all things are in alignment, when you get with someone and it doesn't work out for whatever reason, that's a lesson. It's not wasting. You're not wasting anything if you know that you can grow from everything, that every setback you grow from, right? So like I can get with someone and past me would have been like, oh, wasting my time, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, nah, this person didn't waste my time. I learned X, Y, and Z from them. And now I can apply that to my next partnership or the next level or chapter in my life. You get me? So like, yeah, I just, as far as dating goes, like to come back to your initial question, like, and as being an artist, I feel like I get people see who they want to see. And then when they meet you and they meet who you are, that scares them because people that don't know who they are and meet people who know who they are, they don't like that. But there are people who will challenge you and to pretend. You know what I mean? That's where shit gets tricky. But if you don't like pick up on red flags, if you don't pick up on signs, if you don't trust your gut and your intuition about somebody, you'll lead yourself astray, right? So you can't blame anybody but you. As we grow, we can't point the finger anymore. We have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to say, okay, well, there were minor red flags that I ignored, so why did I continue to pursue this connection? So for me, dating isn't hard. It's more about what I will and won't allow anymore now. Like, I don't mind dating. I think that it's important to date. It's important to, fish around and figure out what you like, what you don't like. So then when the right partner comes along or your life partner, you can decide like, okay, like you have more to add to my life than you do to take from it. Now we can see where this will go in regards to like, us communicating and all that other stuff and knowing what you want and who you are. Everything kind of comes full circle with that,
And I want to hear from and I want to ask you this question, and I want to I'm bringing it full circle, and I want to hear for real in air talk. But being an artist, being in the dating world, has that made it more difficult for you to actually like choose people that you like, even like consider being like a life partner or even a dating partner?
Well, okay,
I'm talking about values and all that shit.
Yeah. I won't date an artist.
I was just going to say,
You saying you won't date an artist?
Hold up.
I had to say anything.
Yeah, no,
I
won't. I feel like I've learned a great deal of lessons dating artists. I just won't. I won't and that's me because I've been through shit. Like that's from my experience. It's not from what I'm hearing or what I'm seeing. It's from what I've experienced. I won't date an artist because there's a lot of things that we see similar, which is like, it's like me. Not this, it's weird to say, like, I don't even know if I would date a me, but like, it's more of like I don't want someone who lives in the same world as me, if that makes sense. Like I need to be able to learn from you. And not to say I can't learn from other artists, but like we are both artists for a reason. And normally those reasons are kind of like the same. You know what I mean? That's why I said like, it just depends on like your preference. You know what you feel me? Like it depends on your preference.
Does that mean that like you guys are both too involved in your emotions, or you guys are too involved in like why wouldn't you date another artist? I mean, I don't want you to get too deep into your own things
Because time.
Yeah.
It's timing.
And creation. Can we talk about creating?
Time for me, it's like it's exhausting. Timing, and then knowing like I'm putting a lot of the balance of dating an artist and you being an artist. Is hard to balance that because you're dating someone who's putting the same amount of energy into their craft and art and as you are. So there's really no time I come home, you know, and I want to, you know, get in bed. I want to whatever, but you're out performing. You got a show. I got a show. It's just not, to me, that's not a healthy lifestyle that I can foresee for me and my daughter. Like, I don't want that. I don't want her parents to not be present with her because we're both just like, which is artists. We're all just like, you know what I mean? But you wanted the answer to, does it make it harder? If you're speaking about the artist pool, absolutely, because it's mixy and it's messy. And like normally, and this is the me being transparent, is there's when you date an artist in the same city, the same area, the same, chances are they've gotten around. And like I am who I am, right? I have a set of values and I don't like that. I don't enjoy knowing that. You've allowed yourself to be in a space and you've shared yourself with so many people that are like in the same vicinity. I don't like that. I believe in energy exchange. I believe in all be like when you're sexual with other people and like bringing that shit home. I don't fuck with that. So like that's the main reason, the root of why I will never date another artist. Not to say people who aren't artists aren't like that. It's just that if I'm gonna be in the same environment and community as you and know that, and then like there's like, it's just weird. It's very mixy in the art world, and it's like it's reality. It's our reality, and so knowing that and us being like observers of it, I'm all set.
I just want to add one quick thing before y'all come in. I was also gonna say like the attachment to it. You know, like people think that when they do shows with people, like you're attaching yourself to the people that are on the show, whether you like it or not, right? So this is real simple example, and then I'll give you the relationship example. One, I could be on a bill with 3 other people. I don't ask no questions. I just care about the check. I show up. I find out that somebody's on the bill that may potentially have harmed somebody or been in a situation where it wasn't just so great. And now here I am doing the same show. And even if I could say to this person like, yo, I don't like this, or I could get mad at the organizer and be like, yo, why didn't you say? I could do whatever I want, but at the end of the day, it's perception. Now, relationship, you get with another artist, and I've personally had this happen where it's like you're in this relationship, but now you're attached as a fucking brand together. So when people see you, they see the other person, and when they see the other person, they see you.
Fucks up your relationships.
It can, I mean, ego, all the other things, right? Like that come with that, but also it can fuck with you and your own identity as far as like who you're trying to be as an artist, what you're trying to create, and how to separate the two. I think that's super important. So I want to say, like, for the same reason that Kat has said and so many others that I don't have time to name now, I wouldn't date another artist based off of not only time, creation, because like when you're pillow talking, we pillow talk in relationships all the time, but when you're an artist, both of y'all doing that, sometimes ideas can be kind of shifty and intermingled and flowy, and the next thing you know, somebody's doing something that looks very similar to something you're doing, or an idea that you said, or it's like, it's just too much. Like, intellectual property is a huge thing for me. It is. I don't care who it is. I don't care. Give me my credit. Okay. So like for me, like that's a big deal. So between that, the creation, the intellectual property, the conversations, and the attachment to brands as an artist, because you're in this couple and it's so public, and because it can get so mixy and messy. Yeah, transference of energy is very real.
For real. Wait. Oh, you guys co-sign that?
One more thing. Also, too, when you date it as an artist, niggas just only want you because they see the artist. Did I say that already? I said
No,
something
you
similar,
did
right?
not.
Does that make you more exotic?
Yeah,
That
like
fool exotic.
Makes you more exotic?
Done.
It's like, oh man, she's
That
an
fool's an
artist.
exotic.
It's like fantasizing a little bit. It's like a little like, oh, she's
Right,
an
right, right, right.
artist. Yeah.
But do you co-sign that, or do you have a different idea? Normies over artists.
Well, I mean, I'm in a relationship. I've been in a relationship for about 4 years now. I just feel like there is.
Is he an artist?
He was. I mean, he's a very creative person. So he had dropped his artistry probably about 10 years ago. But what I think in regards to dating an artist or being with an artist, you have to. There's roles to be played. Somebody is the starring main character in some point, and somebody's a supporting role, and sometimes those roles switch. But you have to be ready to play the fuck out of that role.
Yeah.
It's very important to know where and when the time is to be in a certain space. So I think that for myself, it's very important. Like, my partner supports me. My partner is invested in me, invested in my artistry, but still allows me the time and the space and the freedom for me to be myself as an artist. That doesn't mean that I'm going to step out of my relationship. That doesn't mean I'm going to disrespect my relationship. And you have to be a strong person to be with an artist.
Secure.
Yeah, you have to be very secure with yourself. And then on top of that, you have to know that person. You have to know that that person is not going to fuck you over. Because that's a very important thing in regards to if you're going to be an artist or you're going to date an artist and be in a relationship. So it's the intentionality. And that's that word again. I would say it's the transparency. It's the evolution of self. It's the knowledge of self. It's the self-awareness that you need and the self-awareness that you need from your partner and that they need to have for themselves in order for that to work. Otherwise, it's going to just go to shit.
Right. It ain't gonna work.
To piggyback off of that, I think it really just comes down to like the simplicity of like, if you're doing the work, I recently dated an artist, and I don't know if I would go as far to say as I would never date an artist, because I feel like that alignment is just alignment. But I think it has to do with like, are you genuine in your craft, and are you not gonna allow me having some praise to intimidate you? I think it has to do with like ego. It has to do with insecurities. It has to do with, what you foresee for yourself and what I foresee for myself. And just knowing there's a difference in those two things. Yes, we are together, but that doesn't mean that your thing is my thing. My thing is my thing and your thing is your thing. And I think that's really important. I'm always gonna just get back to the root of it.
Yeah.
To the root. It comes down to like the work that's being done. As an artist that works on herself daily, you need to match that energy, because if you don't, it's gonna show.
Right.
You're gonna be intimidated. You're gonna
Evenly
fall
yoked,
out of
baby.
your masculinity,
Yes, ma'am.
and it's not gonna work out, because if you're gonna be with somebody that is powerful and in her shit, you gotta be powerful and in your
Period.
shit. You feel me? Go.
I want to talk about I want to talk about intimidation. About being like strong and powerful with whatever you're doing. You felt like you've intimidated, like you've had men or your masculine presenting assuming others that you've intimidated, and that like came out with either like judging a person for their ability to be in a relationship, or their personality in general. Like, what is that like?
Ciao.
Girl, I'm done.
Can we talk about like the fragile man ego, maybe? I don't know.
I'm not even going to talk about fragile males. I'm going to talk about fragile egos in general. And I feel like, yes, intimidation is a thing and can be a thing. I think for me, and in my experience, it's like sometimes people have a different idea of the role that you're supposed to play or want you to play, and you're not aware of that. And then when you surpass that role that they give you, and maybe even surpass them in where they see themselves, I think intimidation comes full-fledged, and it can be in very ugly, disgusting ways that it can come out because they're not checking themselves. And again, like Pharrell keeps saying, like doing the work. Like I've and I'm only going to speak to my experience, but I've been a full-time artist for 4 years, like straight up 4 years. I've sacrificed so much. So to have a relationship be intimidated by me and do certain things out of retaliation to ruin those things for me is like, I would like to, because I'm a very trusting person by nature anyways. I think we're all humans and we make mistakes, but we can, make up for those things. But for me, it's like intimidation, especially with other artists, going back to the relationship with artists, it's hard because I heard Chris Rock say today, like, number one, to have a successful relationship, you can't be competitive. And I feel like sometimes, especially in artist relationships, it is very fucking competitive, even when it's not supposed to be. I think a lot of shadow work needs to be done in those areas for you to kind of realize it. And sometimes, as somebody had said earlier, like Kat, you had said, like, it's a blessing because there are lessons when you are in these, because sometimes you see, like, through the person's behavior, like the things that you need to work on for yourself. So that's a beautiful thing. But intimidation is a big thing, and that could be anybody. It's not just relationships. It's not just due to male ego. I don't want to throw that just on. People just have egos in general in this industry. As artists, we are in a music business, an entertainment business. There's business behind that. So can your partner be intimidated by you regardless of their gender? Of course. Whether it be for the stardom, the financial gain, the energy that you attract, people admiring you, the accolades, the acknowledgement of just you merely existing. People get upset and can feel a way and feel a sense of entitlement to that with you, especially in a partnership. There's the resentment that sits also into that, and it gets deeply rooted in that, where they're like, hey, why isn't it me? And like, why are they got so much more likes? And why is it easier for you? And that's because or you have, or you connected to. But it's like, I feel like for me, the struggle with me having a relationship or dating another artist or anybody in general is like, I'm constantly feeding that person and wanting that person to be with me wherever I go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm constantly making sure like we're equal. And again, to go back to Chris Rock, he said there is no equality. People have positions to play. One day you might be the lead singer. The next day you might have to shake that tambourine. And motherfucker, you better have a fucking smile on it when you're shaking it, because nobody wants to see anybody shaking a tambourine mad as hell, okay? And that's a real thing. So I think intimidation can come from anywhere. But when it's in a relationship, it can be really bad and can lead to very toxic and violent situations that you may need to remove yourself from.
Right.